Kara's here. Hello. Here, Catherine's here. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Kara. Hello. DeeDee's here. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
All right. There you are.
Hi, how are y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
So we're on episode 5. For some reason, I thought we were further along.
I did too.
So yeah, I was looking at the episode list and I was like, we're only 5 episodes in. And we're actually getting a new cast member next week. Hello, Coast to Coast Teacher. And I'm excited about that. We're still getting new cast members, which I think is crazy because, I don't know, for some reason I thought we were like on episode 8. So when I was reading the episode list, I was like, dang, so much has happened so far. I felt like we were farther along. Steven Costa, what's up? So
Hi, Stephen.
I
Hi,
want to
Steven.
talk about something that caught me by surprise tonight. Christian is going to see Cleo. And I don't know, like, I have mixed feelings about this. Like, I want it to work out, but I also feel like Christian is kind of using this as an experiment. Like,
Yes.
he wants to test the waters. And I'm like, Cleo is a trans woman, and this isn't an experiment. This is her life, and this is, who she is. So I don't like the idea that he's like, oh, well, we'll go over there and see how it goes, and we won't kiss, because I wouldn't kiss anyone when I first met them on their first date. And I was like, no, you're acting weird because she's trans and you're not okay with it. And instead of being honest and, being, like, sensitive to her feelings and helping her understand how you feel, you're lying. Because he said in his episode, he was like, I'm saying that I'm okay with it and I'm fine and I'm not nervous, but deep down I'm actually really nervous and I'm really scared. And I feel like that's not fair to Cleo because she should know how he feels. And before he gets on that plane, he should know whether or not he's okay with being with a trans woman. Now, whether their relationship works out specifically, that is something to be determined, but he should not feel nervous, scared, or uneasy about going to see her because under her impression, he's okay with it. And I just don't like the dishonesty.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah. But remember, he said that he wasn't into men, and
Right.
we know that that Cleo still has not had the full surgery yet.
Right.
So, and then his parents and I believe he said his brother and some family members are bringing that up and reminding him, well, this isn't an actual woman. It is a transgender, a man transforming into a woman.
Right.
And I think that right there is what is really making him to start second guess himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
I agree. I feel like his family, since they're so close, their opinion is making him feel uneasy about the decision that he thought he was okay with.
Yeah.
And I hate the fact that his family is old-fashioned, but I respect also the fact that everybody has their own opinions on things, and everybody doesn't have to be okay with everything. That's what makes this world so amazing. Everybody has their own thoughts, beliefs, understandings, ways of living, and we just respect everybody's opinion. And sometimes it's hard, for us to respect people's opinion because they want to limit what others can do. But, we are born with that opinion, and that's how we feel. But I just want him to be sure because it's not just about him. Like, Cleo is moving forward thinking that this relationship might be stronger than it is. It's not strong. Like, he's like, well, I don't want to kiss her and I want to move slow and I'm not sure if this is what I want. Like, this isn't a test drive. This isn't a car that you get to go and decide if it's what you want or not. And if not, you can leave it on the lot. These are feelings. This is a person that you're bringing into this. And I just feel like he's looking at it like, well, if it doesn't work out, that's fine. No sweat off my back. No big deal. And it's not fair because she's under the impression that he's completely okay with it.
I get that the family's opinion is held in high regard, but at the same time, you're a grown-ass man. Like, if your family doesn't accept it now, they'll accept it in a couple of years. You have to move on with your life and do what makes you happy.
Exactly.
Your family is going to have strong opinions, but when the person is always around, because I've found this, because I have a family that's very religious. So, they've always had something to say about anything that I've done. But when it's determine that you'll stop talking to them and you'll stop showing up for Thanksgiving and you'll stop being a part of it, they tend to become a little more accepting every year.
Yep.
You know, they have a little less to fight about because they're like, well, we would rather have you in some shape or form than have you shut us out completely. So even people who have closed-minded beliefs, they're going to eventually say, well, this isn't a phase. You know, this is what they're doing. This is who they're with. This is who they love. This is who they are. And they're eventually going to get over it. So I don't like it when people take the initial reaction of their family and they run with it, because that changes so frequently. How many times have I met people who told me, oh, when we got married, her parents hated me, or his dad hated me, or vice versa, whatever. They're still together, and then their parents all get along, everyone gets along. That feelings change the longer they have to get to know you and understand you as a person. Initially, people tend to not give people a chance. Like, some of my best friends, they started off like, if someone asked me my impression of one of my friends that I've known for like 10 years, and I was like, you know what? When I first met her, I hated her and I didn't want anything to do with her. And then, like, as time go on, we grew closer. We found out what we had in common. Now I consider her one of my really good friends. Like, I know all of the things about her past marriages and all these things. And she, you know, it was hard. When I left Ohio, she lived in Ohio, it was hard because we had grown to be really close friends. But when we first met, we met at an event, and I like her. I wasn't vibing with her at all. Like, I felt like the group of people that I was with, the group of people that she was with, and we were intermingling, I didn't like it. But the initial reaction is usually that way. Hey, Donna.
Hi, Donna.
It's usually that way.
Hey,
You don't always
Donna.
give people a chance. So I hate the fact that people are letting family's initial reaction. And first of all, I'm a mama's boy. So every girl that I ever brought to my mom hated her.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't good enough for me. So I never let my mom's initial reaction determine what I was going to do and how I was going to live. Because no one was ever going to be good enough for me. I was a mama's boy. I was the baby. So I never let her opinion sway me in any direction. It mattered, but I wasn't going to dump nobody, you know, because she didn't like them.
But I also kind of feel like he took the chicken shit way out, in my opinion. He wanted to tell his family, but didn't tell his family. He told friends that would tell the family so that the family could find out through the chain link.
Yeah.
And then it just came out. So he didn't have the courage to tell his family all by himself.
That's
so
too
disappointing.
I know. He's got to be a man in this situation. Man up. This is who you chose. Don't act like you're embarrassed. Okay? This is who you chose. This is who you love. Stand by what your decision is. And if you love her, like you say you do, who cares what they think? They will eventually either accept her or not, but that's their loss. Either way, that's their loss. They have to live with the idea of not having you in their life if they decide they can't be okay with what you chose.
I agree completely.
So what do you think? What do you guys think is going to happen when he gets there? Do you think that he's going to be freaked out by the situation? Do you think he's going to warm up to her? Like, I don't know. I feel like the statement he made when we first met him, where he was like, he's totally not into men, that rubbed me the wrong way. To say that when you're dating a trans woman, it rubbed me the wrong way. So I kind of have a negative feeling of how it's going to go. I want to know what you think.
Yeah, me too, because he also said tonight that he didn't know how he was going to be able to handle not only with her being transgender, but also she is autistic.
Yep.
So I don't think it's ending very well.
No, I feel like for him, he's in over his head, and he's bit off more than he can chew, and he's just not being honest.
I don't think
he's
they're
like,
going to make it past the episode, to be honest. I mean, I think it's going to be rough, and I think that that's why we've got a new couple coming in on episode 6.
Oh my God, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, we're meeting a new couple in episode 6. I was like, somebody's not going to make it. And I was like, they've been stretching the Tyree story out for a really long time. And I was like, so I feel like there's not a lot of footage to go around there. So I feel like they're stretching it, kind of like what they did with Debbie and Osama. They just kept stretching it out. They would give us 3 minutes on one episode, then skip a week, 3 minutes on another episode. So I was like, maybe he's going to get there and things are not going to go well, and they're going to separate right away. I don't see it ending well, and I feel like he's not being fair, with his feelings. because I feel like you just need to be open and honest with people. Don't go in and hide things right from the beginning. Like, I feel like honesty is like the foundation.
Yeah.
When you build a relationship, everything needs to be built on honesty, and that's how you determine if you're going to be in a good relationship, in a strong relationship. And I just feel like they're not doing that. Well, I don't want to say they. Cleo's being super honest.
Yeah.
Okay, she's not hiding nothing.
Yep.
Everything is out there on the table. It's Christian who's not being honest.
Yep.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree, Donna. It's gonna be devastating for Cleo because I kind of feel like she feels like the relationship is way stronger than it is. Because, and again, the connection when they talk online, that's one thing. But when you're in person, because even Cleo said it, she was like, is he strong enough and ready for the negativity and the criticism that is going to come with that relationship? And I don't think he's ready, because he wouldn't even tell his own parents. So I don't think he's ready for the criticism from strangers and friends and family and just everybody. Because unfortunately, we live in a world where people think they can make other people feel bad for choices that they make or how they want to live a life. And I hate it, but it's the reality of the world that we live in. People think that they can just say nasty things to people just because they don't like it. And unfortunately, you have to have thick skin. You know, when you live your authentic, true self, your skin has to be thick. And I don't know if Christian skin is thick enough for that.
I don't think so. But I agree with Donna. I don't like people named Christian either. Sorry to all the Christians out there, but man.
Speaking of another Christian, Tyree and Carmela, who we think is also Christian, but in this episode, there was a little more of a breakthrough in the story, right? So there was a escort page that Carmela was on. They didn't say if she was using that same name, Carmela, or not. They didn't get that deep into it, but it was the pictures of this girl that he got. And so now I'm confused because I thought I had it all figured out. And now there is a person who's from the United States with those pictures. So there's different scenarios here, right? There can be somebody who's catfishing Tyree, who's using the photos of this girl who's from California, right? And this girl from California literally has no idea what's going on. Kind of like what was happening with the Williams.
Yep.
The actual guy had no clue that he was even on 90 Day Fiancé.
Yep.
He was never talking to Yolanda ever. So that's where I'm leaning. Or this could be Christian and Carmelo working together in a team effort. Where are you guys at? What are we going to do with this?
When he called that number and it said, the text mail customer that you have called, blah, 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 that's what all the catfishers use, is the free texting app. That right there says that that's a catfish. So if there's another website with all those same pictures and another phone number, I mean, they were only communicating on Snapchat to begin with. Mm-hmm. Like, it's somebody using this lady's pictures. It's somebody named
someone needs to let her know, because out of all the pictures, and she hasn't seen that someone else is using her picture. I mean, or someone that knows her hasn't seen this. You know, something isn't adding up.
Yep. I agree.
Everybody is in agreement that the girl in those photos is not in communication with Tyree, right? We all agree?
Yep.
Yeah, we
agree. We're all on the same page.
She's in prison.
No,
I don't even think
there's no chance. Like, I know that he wants to cling on to like every ounce of hope. I know that he believes that. And I tweeted this earlier. I believe that he loves the person, whoever they are, that he was chatting with on Snapchat.
Yep.
He doesn't really care who it is at this point. He just wants to know if the connection that they built on Snapchat was real, which it's not. Because, I mean, at first I was like, maybe. And then when I realized that he was sending money every month, that went out the window for me. I was like, because at first he was like, oh, they asked me for money. I said no. And I was like, okay, so maybe this person is really making time for Tyree. They're really talking to him every day. They're really building a connection. And then when he later on said, well, then like a year after that, they asked for money and I started sending, and I was like, see, there's no chance. There's no chance that this is a real person, because you would talk other than on Snapchat.
Yep.
That's just how it is. Like, if you're in a relationship, you're saying you love this person, you've been talking for 4 years, you would have their phone number.
Yep.
You would have had their home address, because you would have sent them birthday cards, Christmas cards. Like, you would have been building a personal relationship, not just over an app.
I would
Like it's
know their entire history since the day they were born over 4 years. I would know that in 2 months.
I mean, that's not asking a lot, though.
No.
Like, if you're building a connection and y'all are using the L word to each
Yep.
other, that's not asking a lot. You should know their high school, where they grew up, where they were born. You should know those things. That's not even like stalker. That's just normal information
Yeah.
that you should know about somebody if you've
Yep.
given them this much of your time. So I feel like he's going down the rabbit hole. And I feel like the truth is gonna just slap him in the face. He doesn't want to accept it, but as he keeps going down the hole, the truth is just coming in stronger and stronger to the point where at some point he can't deny what's going on anymore. Because even his sister, she's like, I don't know how else to give you information to make it more clear and transparent to you that this is what is happening. It's like he just finds one positive thing in everything from the 10 negative things, and he clings on to it for dear life. Like he's hanging out of the side of the plane, hanging on. It's like, I'm hanging on this hope that this is it. She's in jail.
Yep.
And then her husband found out. And like, these are elaborate. Like he could write books.
Yeah.
Like these are very elaborate stories that he's coming up with. I respect it, but Tyree, it's not real. I'm not even saying that like in a mean way. I want you to be happy, but this person is not the right person for you.
I feel like his sister, first of all, his sister's awesome, but I also feel like she needs to be more aggressive about it. Like she needs to let him know, you know, I know that you're in love. I know your heart's involved, but you know, I got to smack you in the face because none of this is going to happen. But I also feel like somewhere in this whole conundrum that we have, he's going to meet the catfish. And I think that the only reason I say that is I don't think that the catfish has feelings for him, but I think the catfish is getting money from TLC to appear, and the catfish is all about the money. So he's going to make an appearance.
I want to see that. Like I want to see.
Yeah, me too. I want to see who this mysterious Christian is.
Yep, and then
so
stalk him, and I'm going to taunt him, and I'm going to make his life hell.
It's like a crossover we didn't know we needed. 90 Day Fiancé and Catfish. It's like a crossover we didn't know we needed. But I want to know, because we don't really get this on 90 Day Fiancé. Like, there isn't a lot of catfish. I think we talked about this before. We could count it on one, not even one hand, less than a hand, how many times this has happened. So I think you're right. This person is going to show up. First of all, there's an appearance fee. And if they were asking for $100 or $200 from Tyree, the appearance fee will have a comma in it.
Yep.
So this is this is like a year's worth of what they were getting from Tyree just from one like hour of their time. Probably not even that long, depending on how the conversation goes. I'm pretty sure it's not going to go well, right? I'm pretty sure it's not going to go well. It's going to be pretty bad because the person is going to show up and be heartless and emotionless and mean, and it's not going to go far. But showing up in general, like you said, it's going to make it easier for Tyree to accept, even though I feel like you should accept it now.
But I also
feel like hearing it
like we're all going to be kind of curious if this catfish does show up, is it really the person that was catfishing him or someone that was paid to go on there and say that they were doing it so that this real catfish can actually stay undercover and continue doing this dirty work that he's been doing?
That's true.
That's
because if
a really good question, because that's how catfish is. That's how scammers do. So, I mean, they always have that backup person to, you know, to send in their place.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And there's really no way for us to ever know who was actually talking to Tyree. There was never a phone call where he heard a voice. There was never a FaceTime call. All he has are texts, which literally can come from literally anyone. Yep. So the person sitting across from him, there's absolutely no way for him to even test them to see if this was really who he was talking to. Because technically, if it is like a person working with the catfish, they could probably have had access to the conversation. So he could say, well, how much money did I send you on your birthday?
Right.
It's possible that anyone could have that information if more than one person had access to the chats. Yep. So you're right. We're never going to know who it is.
No.
Oh, we were talking about Tyree and Carmela, also Christian. and that situation right now. So that's where we are. We got a little more information on that. I'm really interested in seeing if he can get a hold of the escort page, because what if the girl who's from California is really an escort, right? Like, there's just so many different ways this could go. Because I was like, well, what if this girl from California really is an escort? Because the pictures that Tyree got were a bit risque, right? So it's very possible this person who they're using the pictures of really is an escort from 30 minutes away in Bakersfield from where he lives. Ironic, but possible. So what if he was able to get a hold of this girl, and maybe that would be the confirmation he needs when she verifies on video call, so he can see that he's talking to the girl in the photos, that wasn't her.
That would be,
maybe that will be.
Yeah,
would be great.
that would.
I'd love
Yeah.
to see that.
Yeah, I would
But
love to see.
I think that it's a catfish page. I just that whole text-free number or whatever text line, that just tells me that even that whole page is fake.
Oh yeah.
So.
I mean, if you can't use, well, wait, I have a question. Is escorting legal?
In certain states like Nevada.
Because they're in California.
I don't know
Like,
if it's
Would it
legal
be in California? Probably so. I think you can do anything in California and
But
and
you're
Las
right,
Vegas.
though, because an escort wouldn't put their actual phone number on a site, so random men will harass them. So you're right. They would have to use some sort of service, like a text number or internet number, because, you know, even if you're a dancer or, you know, you work in the sex industry, you don't want people just tracking you. You know, like, you don't want people just following you around. That could be very dangerous. Wait, TJ says it's not legal. Is it? Is it not? Okay, so maybe,
I know it's legal in Nevada.
okay, so that could just be because it's not legal, so they don't want to have like their real phone number attached to that in case, I don't know, do police look for stuff like that? I don't know. See, this is a whole nother realm now. I don't even know where we're going into that. But I know
Escort
that
services are legal as long, okay, California considers solicitation for prostitution illegal, with both parties liable for prosecution if caught. However, escort services are legal as long as they provide companionship without engaging in physical contact or exchanging sexual favors beyond the conversation and company.
okay, it's legal.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I don't know. I'm leaning towards this girl in the
DeeDee.
photos really is an escort, but like,
Cool.
yeah, I'm kind of excited now. Is that bad that I'm excited that I think that's true now? Because I want to meet her. I want her on the show.
Yeah.
Like, I totally want to see her, and I want to see her like say, "That's not me. I'm sorry that happened to you, but that's not me." And then Tyree can finally, you know, focus on confronting Christian for what happened, and I think that's important. He needs he's a closure guy. He needs closure so he can move forward, because I feel like he's refusing to move forward because he needs closure. He's like one of those people who needs.
I really like Tyree. He is really, really sweet. But to me, he's the kind of person that they could actually bring her on and she can say that that's not her, but he's still gonna find something to hold on to. That's the kind of vibe that, you know, I get from Tyree.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody deserves to be loved, you know, and everybody wants to be loved. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't even think if she were to come on the tell-all or 90 Day, you know, put them face to face, I don't think that he would even, you know, quit. I'm hoping that she's still real.
Yeah.
He is. Okay, so
Sad.
we saw an interaction between Misha and Nicola, our 46-year-old version this season. And I was watching his interaction with her. Like, we saw a little bit last week, and he was kind of like, oh my gosh, you threw your clothes all over this room. But he's kind of like, I'm trying to think of the best non-offensive way to say this.
A dick?
Yes, that word. Yes, he's kind of a dick, right? He's kind of rude and kind of like not respectful towards women, like saying, oh, you're cuter when you're not speaking. That is so rude. And I was like, at first I was like, how is it possible that you could be 46 years old and a virgin? And then now that I've met him and I've seen the way he talks to women, I figured it out.
Yeah.
I can't see how any woman wants to be with somebody who wants to be so nasty and degrading to them and literally say, you must be hungry because you're acting crazy.
Yep.
I'm sorry, what? Like, this is
Yeah.
how you speak to women? No wonder you've made it 46 years and your mom is the closest woman in your life, right? Like, this is insane. I was like, this is how you get vases or vases, whatever you want to call it, thrown at your face by saying things like that to a woman, or telling them to calm down, or saying, oh, you're just hungry. That's why you're acting this way. That's how you get your face knocked off. Like, that's crazy. So the fact that Misha kept her cool, she kept her inner peace in that situation, I'm good with that, because she had every right to snap on this man for being so rude and disrespectful. Then after, the fact that he didn't even tell his family that she's there. And the whole purpose of them meeting is so she can determine if he's the right person for her, if they're going to get married, and if they're going to move forward with their relationship. And he hasn't told anybody that she's even present. And he doesn't want to tell his mom. And I was like, so let me get this straight. You're 46 years old and you're a virgin, and you nailed this beautiful woman. You've landed this woman, right? She's interested in you. She wants to be with you. She's interested in marrying you. And you don't want to tell anybody?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I love Misha.
I do too. I feel like Misha is a catch.
Yep.
And if he can't see what he has, I was like, get out of the bed, Misha, and get back on a plane and go back to where you came from. He don't deserve you. If he doesn't understand that he should be bragging right now.
Yeah.
He made it 46 years with nobody, and he landed this beautiful woman, and he's not telling anyone.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve you. I would tell everybody I know. I would be sending pictures. I wouldn't be like Gino and be sending naked pictures, but I would be sending, like, look at who I'm dating right now. Like, I would tell everybody.
Yep. I agree. He's a snake, man.
I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. but I don't think he's a virgin. I really don't. I really don't. Because of something that they said, tonight. So I don't, and I don't think that they didn't have sex. I don't believe it.
Really?
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I
think they did, but because of how they're coming on the show, making it look like they are religious, they're trying to act like they didn't do it. But nope.
Yeah.
I think they did.
He said something on the episode that made me feel like they didn't, because when they asked him if there was heavy petting or whatever, and he was like, petting? No, he was like, we didn't do anything that's a sin. And when he said that,
that's what she said too, that they didn't do nothing that was a sin. But I mean, maybe he didn't understand what the word heavy petty is. I mean, I don't even know what is that? I'm American. I don't even know what that means.
Heavy petty?
What is that?
How do you not know what heavy petting is?
Me, okay?
That's above the clothes stuff. Yeah. I mean, even I know that, and I was raised in a religious cult. Even I know that. Like, that's just above the clothes stuff. But wait. When I was raised in the church, though, even that was a sin. Like, we couldn't do none of that.
I need to go take DeeDee out.
DeeDee, you
I
don't.
don't even know what that means. I was like, what does that mean? So I didn't catch it. Like, I didn't think anything, because like he didn't understand, because I was like, what is that? Like, what does that mean? I mean, I don't know what it means.
Basically, anything where you didn't do actually that. Like, when you're read the comments. All of everyone
now use your imagination after you've petted something.
Yes.
And it's not
even more makes me think, they had sex.
That's exactly what it sounds
They just
like.
don't want people to know. I'm sorry. I don't believe he's a virgin, which I'm not saying that, there's not people out there that are virgins that are that age. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't believe that he is a virgin. I think
either.
I don't know. He's not a virgin, and
So,
I think they had sex.
So
I really do.
When we were watching Brittany and Yazan, and it was against his religion to have sex, and Brittany told us that they had done things, and he denied it. So you think it's kind of like he's gonna say he didn't do it?
Yeah.
You think they most definitely did? Because I remember Brittany was like, "Oh yeah, stuff happened. Like that, it definitely happened." And no, we're not married. But it was against his religion, so he always said nothing happened. So maybe it's the same situation. Like, he's not going to go on TV and say that he did something that he shouldn't do, but it definitely happened. I mean, I don't know.
Hands down, they had sex. Hands down.
The way that he acts around her is so awkward. I feel like he doesn't have a lot of experience with women. Do you not feel like that?
Oh, I definitely feel like he has very little experience, but I also feel like he's not a virgin.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course. I mean, he doesn't have all that.
years.
Yeah, of course, he probably doesn't have all that experience or the, how can I say this in a nice way? Or an experience with an experienced woman, I guess is the best, nicest way I could say that. You know, she's more experienced, in other words. Maybe he doesn't have that kind of experience, but he's no virgin.
Interesting.
I'm dying. I love these comments.
Yeah, I pinned that one just for you, DeeDee. DeeDee, I pinned that one just for you.
There you go.
I can't see. Let me put my glasses on. My contacts are messed up. I can't see nothing. Everything's blurry.
Such an excuse to not know.
That was the story that I was trying to tell earlier, but I don't want to get us kicked off.
Yes.
But that was what I was trying to say earlier, but I couldn't use the words to get it where you would understand.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, that's
what my goodness. I love you guys. I love you guys.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So, I want to talk about Razvan and Amanda, because Razvan finally stood up to her and was like, look, I feel like you're being mean with me and you're being insensitive. And it's funny because she kind of came at him first and was like, you're being insensitive to my situation. And he was like, well, I think you're being insensitive to me and you're purposely pushing me away and you're trying to make it easier for you to leave here without having the relationship that we had prior. And I feel like he's right. I feel like she led him on through FaceTime calls, through phone calls, through saying I love you, through flying over there. And then when she landed, she realized with another man in her bed that she felt extremely bad for what she was doing based on the fact that she literally just lost her husband. And she's kind of being mean, and there's another word that I was going to use too. I can't remember.
Vindictive?
Vindictive. That's it. She's being vindictive and trying to make it seem like he's the problem.
Yes.
And I'm like, how exactly would he be the problem when he's done nothing to disrespect you or make you feel uncomfortable since you've been here?
Yeah.
Like, he's literally been respectful. He's taken her out. He's shown her around. He's trying to show her around his area, the culture. He's taken her to different places to eat. He's been very respectful. He didn't try to force her to do anything she didn't want to do. And she keeps treating him like he's doing the opposite. And I'm like, you're being vindictive because you want to make it easier for you to walk away from this relationship. Just admit that you led him on and stop trying to make it seem like you're the victim. And I don't want to say that like she's not the victim. She did lose somebody extremely important in her and her kid's life. That is not what I mean here. What I mean in this situation, I feel like she's treating him like crap, and then she's trying to make it seem like she's the one suffering. And I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
Yep. Well, you know, when he finally started putting his foot down, she was all
oh,
of a
Lord.
sudden,
Yazan has joined. Hi, Yazan. We were only talking about another part of your story, nothing specific, in case somebody tweeted that to him.
Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things that, I don't know. Whoops. Hold on, I lost you. It's just kind of one of those things where, I don't know, she was playing all quiet and hurt and upset and confused until he was hurt. Then she started getting all handsy. I'm sorry. I love you. It's like, girl, get out. Come on. She's got to go. She has to go home.
What?
For real. For real. If she's giving me, she's acting like not only is she playing the victim, but she's also giving me like a narcissistic vibe.
Yeah.
Like she, you know what I'm saying? Because you know how narcissists are, they make you feel bad and everything, and then when they get you to that point, then you're like, oh, okay, it's okay, I know, and it's I don't know, I don't like her.
Yeah.
I really don't have nothing to say about her, to be honest. I don't like her.
I feel like she's playing devil's advocate.
Yeah.
She wants to be the victim, and she also wants to be the star of the story. Like she wants everything is about her.
Yes,
And
Donna. Exactly what Donna just said. She's
yeah,
like, come here, go away.
right. Like hurry up, get here so I can not spend time with you. Kind of like what Violet was trying to do to Riley, right? Like hurry up and get here so I can show that I don't really care about you at all. And it's funny because we all had, well, I don't want to say we all, I had a preconceived feeling about Razvan when we first saw it, when it said he was a social media influencer and a singer and an actor. And I was like, oh, I know where this is going. You know, he wants to come to America so he can make more money. And Amanda's just conveniently there. And I had a preconceived idea of it. But when I see their interaction, that's not what it is at all, because he actually wants her to move there, because he was like, if anything was to happen and you could come here and then I'm going to show you around the town. He doesn't, like, America would be great, but that's not like the only way the relationship will work. Because he was like, if something happens and I can't come there, you could come here and we could still be together. Like if I felt like he wanted to get to America and do better in his career, that would be the only option, right? Isn't that kind of like how it is with Anna and Matthew? That's the only option. Like, we'll work in America. Like no other country is on the list of when we're gonna happen. But I feel like Razvan is like, if it doesn't work out and I can't come to America, you can come here. You can bring the kids here. I'll show you around. I'll show you the schools. Like I do feel like he was way more serious on this than she was. And she was probably serious before she got there. And then once she saw him and things got real and they were messing around and giving each other hickeys, I think that's when the guilt sank in and the guilt is kind of taking over. Because I feel like she does like him, but I feel like she just feels super guilty about it.
I feel like the guilt should have sat in when you were talking to him while your husband was dying. That's when it should have sat in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, that's terrible. Like the idea of starting that, even if it was a friendship, still talking to him knowing you were attracted to him, because it's not like she was just talking to him and he looks like Nicola, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't that type of situation. She was talking to him because he looks a certain type of way and she was attracted to him. So yeah, the idea, Yazan, we're talking about
Amanda and Razvan.
Amanda and Razvan. They're on this current season before the 90 days. And I just feel like the situation is, and who, do you remember who messaged who first? I can't remember. Do you guys remember if it was Razvan who messaged Amanda or if it was Amanda who messaged Razvan?
She messaged him. She said that she was watching one of his TikToks and just was essentially saying it was a nice video or whatever. And he messaged her back and it just went from there.
So yes, she made the first move.
Yes.
And now she's acting like she's not ready. I think that says it all, right? She made the first move. This man was minding his own business in his own country, doing his own thing. And she entered into his life, turned his whole world upside down. Now he's in love with her. And now she's decided, I don't know, this might not be what I want to do. And now he's left sitting in the car crying, confused, because he was under the impression they were in a relationship.
Yep.
I don't even think she has a guilty conscience, to be honest with you.
I don't think she has a conscience.
Yeah, I mean she doesn't have, I mean I don't even know, because we already know that the story that she came on telling us, everything is a lie.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's all over social media. And not only that, I mean, we've seen proof that it's, you know, everything is a lie. So, I mean, who would even think about, I mean, who would even care how she thinks, to be honest with you?
Yeah.
I mean, who would care?
Oh,
I don't care.
90 Sips of Tea Reality says she sent him a rose, like a gift, and then he messaged her back. So she kind of still made the first move, because you have to buy the rose to send before he would get any notification. So yeah, she still made the first move.
Yep.
She definitely did. So wait, you guys don't think that it's guilt? So why do you think that she's being so mean to him? Like, what's her end game here? Do you think that
she's playing the role where I'm acting like this because I lost my husband, I'm away from my kids, and trying to do like a guilt trip on him.
I want attention.
Yeah.
And it's all on me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So do you think that she really wants to be with him, or do you think this is just a game?
No.
It's just fun.
It's just a facade.
It's something to do. Something to do. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that feeling as well. She's all the way over there and she's been talking to him, they were saying, I love you. When we saw her entrance episode, at the end of that call, they were saying, I love you. So the fact that she got there and she's treating him like they met a week ago and she don't know him and she don't trust him, it's very confusing. Like, a lot of times, a lot of people are like, oh, men are so creepy, they're so weird, they misread signals. But in this situation, I don't feel like Razvan misread any signals. He really did think that there was a connection between the two of them. And then when she got there, she acted like he was this creepy guy who wouldn't leave her alone.
Yep. Yeah, she's something. She's something. It's all gonna come out eventually.
Just wait until because this one does have a tell-all. So just wait till the tell-all comes. I mean, that's when the whole true story is going to come out. So, I mean, because everybody already knows the true, the true and real person that she is. So she's a conniving little biscuit eater. That'd be nice.
Tracy, you're right. She's like, if she doesn't want him, I bet his friend does. Remember his friend? She was really pretty, by the way.
Yeah.
I bet you she would. They did some acting together. Like, Amanda, if you don't want him, I mean, he has 140-something thousand followers.
Let's see today. I haven't checked.
Okay, check for it because I want to know. And I think he said 80% are women, right?
Sorry.
I know that there's thousands of ladies who will take Amanda's place. So, Amanda, if you want to hop on the plane and head back home, I'm sure there is someone who will take your place. I guarantee you that.
He's got 140.7 thousand followers.
Wow. 140.7 thousand. I think he's going to be
wow.
okay.
Wow.
I think he'll be
He
fine.
may not even need to come to the United States. He's
Right.
probably making bank. Because over there where he's from, I'm pretty sure. Because isn't it on social media you get so many followers or something, you start getting paid or something? Is that how that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still learning social media.
No,
okay,
you're
I'm coming out my shell. So
right. You're 100% right. Once you get, I think on TikTok, there's a certain number you hit, and then you're monetized.
Yep.
So you get paid for like views, you get gifts. When you go live, people can tip you money.
10,
So yeah, once you get, I don't know the exact number, but I know
10,
once you
10,000.
10,000. There it is, 10,000. So he's getting paid. He's making money. So that's not an issue. He's making money. It's probably going to be more if it was in American dollars, But he's making money. He's doing fine. So, what do we think about Violet making change to her plans to make time for Riley? Because we know that she originally had, I think, school plans is what she told him, something to do with her schooling, and she couldn't see him for 80% of the first full day that he was going to be there. She decided to make plans and change it because she thought he would be upset. So okay, my first mind was her other boyfriend canceled. Is that where your minds were too? Are we on the same page?
Yep.
yeah,
Husband.
her husband went to work, or either her little thing she has online changed plans. So yeah.
Yep. She didn't cancel anything. It got canceled on her.
Yeah.
And she fell back on Riley.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like that. And the way that she called him was like, what are you doing? Or are you busy? And I'm like,
yeah,
no, he's not busy. He's in a foreign country where he doesn't speak the language to see you.
Yeah.
And you ditched him. Of course he's not busy. Oh, let's go back for a second because Raquel wants to talk about why she's so insecure. Why is Amanda so insecure about the kissing scene in the video? So apparently Razvan offered for Amanda to be the love interest in the video. And she said no. And you're right. And I feel like this is a lot of insecurity because I kind of said this last week. She's seen the way that he does his post on Instagram and on TikTok. So the idea that he can't kiss a girl in acting, and he's an actor, right? Like he said that he's done films, he's done movies, music videos. This is acting. So like I've seen movies where there are clearly actors and actresses who are clearly married and in committed relationships doing scenes in bed with people who are not their spouses. It's like this happens all
because she didn't want to do it because then he would see that she's been acting all along.
Really?
She's been acting all along.
So pretending to be interested on camera would be a little harder for her to do.
Yep.
Let me tell you something. If my boyfriend husband was doing what Rosvan was doing, and he offered me to be the one, you think I'm going to tell him no? I mean, I
Right?
want people to see, like, hello, you know, he's mine. He is all mine. You see that? That is all mine.
Yep.
Hands off. He's, you know what I'm saying? And she did not hesitate to say no, that she didn't want to be in it. Why? Because, like Kara just said, she's playing him. She don't want her face to be out there with him because she's playing that man. She's not real.
I don't know. I felt like
let me have a famous husband or boyfriend or something, and they be like, yeah, you want to be in the love scene with me? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta ask me what time I need to be there. I mean, so yeah, it's.
I do feel like him offering her the spot in the video is kind of a get out of jail free card for him having to have a different girl in the video. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's right.
Because he offered it to her first and she said no. And he said, well, it's a love song. It would be, you know, I've seen music videos. He's not off base. Even rappers, they have girls in the videos. Like, he's not off base with this. So is she allowed to be angry and say, I'm going to go home if you kiss her, after he offered the position to her first and she said no?
He's not allowed to be angry at all because she's playing his ass. Plain and simple.
Yeah. She shouldn't be mad at all. I mean, if you turn the position down and he gets someone else, I mean, you know?
I don't know. I'm confused by her because she act like she doesn't want him, but then when he wants to film a video with another girl, she wants to act overprotective. Like it's going to be, like, she's very confusing. Like, she makes me scratch my head a lot because I want to understand.
She meets the best friend.
And that
Wait, what?
hairdo that she be doing too. Come on, is she in high school?
Right? I can't wait until she meets his best friend.
Yeah,
I
that'll be fun.
think they had something going on too. Rosvan and his best friend. I'm sorry, but the looks they were giving each other and the vibe they had going. I'm sorry, but yeah, he's done banged her head up against the head post too. So,
Yep.
So wait,
just saying.
is it not possible?
How do you know that but don't know what petting is? Come on, DeeDee.
So is it not possible to have a?
I do watch TV sometimes, Kara.
So is it not possible to have a hot friend that you haven't banged? I'm just curious. Is it possible or no?
Absolutely.
But
I don't know. I mean, you're the only guy friend I have, George. So I don't know.
Well, it's possible. We haven't banged, so it's possible. So
I mean, yeah.
I was just curious.
I mean, it's possible, but I mean, they were giving it away. The way they were looking at each other, the vibe they have. Like, I'm sorry, but they had something going on. So
I have good-looking guy friends that I've never done anything with, but I also don't sit there and look at them like I'm going to eat them up. You know, like they're my dessert. And they don't look at me that way.
I thought it was weird when he had to emphasize in the little interview, like, she's just a friend, nothing ever happened. He had to emphasize that. I was like, when I introduce my friends, I don't usually say that.
Yep.
So I was like, the fact that you had to take a second to make sure you said that out loud so we got it, it's kind of weird to me. Donna says banging like a screen door.
Donna's killing me tonight. Donna is on it. She is killing me.
Yes. I mean, okay, so let's go back to Riley and Violet. So what are we thinking about Violet? Because Riley was trying to get some emotion out of out of Violet. He was like, do you understand why that was hurtful for you to say that you didn't have time for me? And she didn't really respond. Like, do you feel like I always felt like when he was describing her to us in the package before we met her, he said that she's very cold. And like he would say like, I love you. And she was like, I don't love you.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And that was kind of her sense of humor. So I was like, maybe her being like emotionless is her sense of humor. But when they were out at this site and he was trying to open up to her, like show some emotion, and she just wouldn't open anything up. It's like, maybe she's just not emotionally available, right? Like maybe she's not.
So tell me why. Okay. I say, and DeeDee says that she's married. So this guy comes 8,000 miles to see you and has to stay in a hotel, can't stay at your house. You finally get to do something with him and you take him somewhere else That's not your house. You're not meeting, he's not meeting her friends. He's not, none of that. I'm sorry, but if I was in love with somebody and they came 8,000 miles to see me, I'd be taking him all over to meet my friends, because you bet your ass I've been talking about him nonstop. So I'd want him to know all my friends, all my family. This is where I live. This is where I sit when I talk to you, when we're FaceTiming, you know, so the next time we have to FaceTime, it's going to feel more real. So you know exactly where I'm at and what I'm doing and how it feels. But he knows nothing about her now.
Yeah.
And she's not giving it to him. All he knows is she doesn't like pearls.
That's true. So are we leaning towards he does need the private investigator? Is that where we're going?
Yes.
Because he said if he could get there and get the answers he needed about her past and who she was, he didn't need to go that route. But he's been there, and in the first full day and first half day, he's gotten zero information from her. She's not opening up. And I feel like it's not an act. Because I was like, oh, he said, oh, she just has a funny little sense of humor where she's just being cold and mean to me and it's something we do. I don't feel like it is. I feel like she's being really secretive on purpose.
Yep.
Like, because even his friend was like, shouldn't you be meeting her family and the daughter that you've been sending presents to and buying things for? Like, shouldn't you be getting to know these people in person? You're physically there. Yep. Why wouldn't you be there to get to know these people in person? And it's like everything that she plans, like you said, it's away from her friends, away from her family, away from her life.
Yep.
You can take anyone to a monument downtown that has nothing to do with who you are as a person.
If I went 8,000 miles to see somebody I was in love with and they're like, let me show you where the president hangs out, I'd be like, I haven't been talking to the president. I don't care where he hangs out.
And he only hung out there like 20 years ago. It's not even like legit, right? Like, come on now.
I don't need that history lesson. Thanks though.
Yeah, whenever he was trying to have a grown-up conversation with her, is all she kept saying was, I want to show you more tanks.
Yep.
Who cares about the tank?
Yep.
You know, we need to have a grown-up conversation.
And another thing that bothered me is when his knee was hurting and he said something about, she said, do you want to sit down? And he says, no, because I didn't want to tell you I'm hurting because I know you like big, strong men.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. What did you brought that up? When did that happen? Did she only say, I don't ever want you hurting? Like, what in his mind made him go there? I didn't want to tell you my knee was hurting because I know you only like big, strong men.
That's interesting. Yeah, and Chris says he has more gifts for her. He does. He has more presents, and he has a ring. He called it a commitment ring. That's an engagement ring, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Well, it looked like to me.
Yeah, that's an engagement ring. And he said that he wants to see if that's where they can go. In 2 weeks, by the way. That's all they got. It's 2 weeks. And he's got all these presents, all these purses. The pearls were a bust. And I was trying not to be judgmental because I was like, I don't know anybody personally who wears pearls that isn't like, you know, a grandmother.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm trying not to be judgmental on that. Maybe he should have got to know her a little better, but at the same time, she won't let him. So how was he supposed to know she doesn't like pearls when he knows absolutely nothing about her? Yep. So I can't really blame him for buying her the wrong present because he doesn't even know who the hell she is. Yes. Like he's literally buying.
But why would she want him to know anything about her? She's not with him because she wants to be with him. She is with him, or not even really with him, but she's having conversation with him because that is her, that's how she gets her money. Yep. He is one of many, they don't tell him how many guys that is sending her money, but he is, so far, he's the only one that has flew that far to see her.
Yeah.
So why would you want to tell, you know?
That's
and she's pissed off about the pearls because pearls don't stretch. They don't stretch. So she knows they're fake.
Wait, those were fake?
Pearls don't stretch.
Oh, see, I don't know. I don't know. I have no clue.
The whole bracelet around her wrist, stretched it. There was no clasp. There was none of that. He stretched it. You know, like you go to the Dollar Tree or the Dollar General or the Dollar whatever you have. You get that cosmetic jewelry for your kids. I'm sorry, but you don't just get a stretchy pearl bracelet, a stretchy pearl necklace, and matching earrings. No. None of that was real.
Really? Okay, so maybe he's not as dumb as we thought he was. Okay, like maybe he's not like, because pearls are expensive, right? I'm under the impression they're in the hundreds of dollars, right? Yeah, so I mean, maybe it's good that he's not spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on her right now because he doesn't even know if this is gonna work. Like, and honestly, maybe he should have gotten the private investigator before he got there because it would have saved him a lot of time and money, right?
Yeah.
Like if he would have gotten her marital status and a little bit about who she is from the PI, he probably would have never gotten on the plane. Like because I feel like he's wasting a lot of time and money just being there because he's gonna find out things. I just have a feeling he's gonna find out things that he is gonna be terrified of when he finally gets it.
If
Miss Donna, Miss Chris, y'all need to stop.
If I didn't cut it off immediately.
Oh my God.
I saw them texting my father, I would have hired the PI then.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much there.
Yeah.
So much.
Donna said that we can't forget about the shirtless guy that was texting her next week. So we're going to see that next week. That's going to be interesting too because she didn't want to explain it either because he was like, who is that? She's like, I don't want to explain it to you basically. And I'm like, if you don't want to explain it.
She kept saying it's none of his business.
Right.
Yeah.
How is it not? 8,000 miles.
You came 8,000 miles, brought me fake pearls. The least I owe you is an explanation. I showed you where the freaking president was.
All right, so Gino and Jasmine were back. I'm sorry, DeeDee, I know this is going to be hard. Gino and Jasmine were back, and we have gotten past the prenup. It's kind of funny because Jasmine talked to her sister Liz, and she was like, you know what, I'm going to give in. I'm going to sign this stupid paper because if I lose him, all of this is for nothing. So she goes to the dinner, and Jasmine did something she doesn't normally do. She listened to Gino. She didn't say anything. She sat down, she looked at him, she put her listening ears on, and she was like, what do you have to say? And he was like, you know what? I'm scrapping it. And she was like, that's amazing. I can't write. Like, I was gonna sign it. Like, that's amazing. This is going even better than I anticipated. Because she's the one that texted him to meet for dinner because remember the last time they had a conversation, she told him that her ex was better at sex than him and didn't have issues and didn't need blue pills and pleased her better. Like she went off. Basically, I thought they were broken up at that point because if you say that to me, we're not going to get back together like Taylor Swift. Like we're not ever getting, like if you say that to me, that's it. Like that's below the belt. That's below the waist. That's the nastiest thing that you can say.
We see that she calls her ex again and talks about how bad Gino is in bed.
Yeah.
What the hell? How is that okay? If Gino called his ex, we know how that happens. If Gino did that, oh my gosh. Everything. She would come uncorked. She would do more than that ugly cry she did at the beginning. That was horrible.
So what do we think about, because right after the prenup talk ended, she immediately brought up a will. Because she was like, okay, so what if you die before we get married? Okay, so first thing that went through my mind was, Gino, don't drink anything on the table.
Yes.
Because I was like,
sleep
who
with
said
one
that? Like,
eye open.
Stop eating. Don't drink anything else because that's not a normal thing to bring up in a conversation. Yep. I was like, also, don't eat anything that she cooks until you go back home. Okay?
Ever.
Like, because that's a weird thing to bring up. Like, right?
Yes. Yes, that was creepy as can be. But you literally just learned that you don't have to sign the prenup. Okay? That's exactly what you wanted. And now you want him dead so you can have everything? Like, you can leave him and take half of the shit now. But you want him dead so you can have it all.
I felt like she had
just by her asking for a will proves me right once again. Yep. She wants his money. She wants everything he has. She is not in this relationship because she wants to be with him because she loves him. That is a lie.
100%.
So in her mind, she's kind of looking at the relationship as an insurance policy. Like she kept saying, I need to know that I'm going to be taken care of and protected, even in death. Yeah. And she's kind of looking at marrying him as an insurance policy. And I was like, because she's like, I'm taking a chance. I'm moving from my country to his. And I was like, isn't every marriage taking a chance.
Yep.
Because when you enter into a relationship with someone, you think you know them.
Yep.
But time and time again, we've heard story after story where you don't know this person. So I was like, why is it that Jasmine doesn't have to take that risk?
Yeah.
The element of risk is not for Jasmine. She doesn't have to be subjected to risk. She should have an insurance policy on it. And she wants everything. And not even just half, because, you know, a divorce is half. She wants everything, and she wants to make sure that his family gets none of it. And I don't know. I just felt like the not having to sign the prenup was a victory. So pushing for the will, I think it's too much.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to believe that she really wanted to be with him and it was real, but like the way that she's pushing for these things, it's all money oriented. It's so funny because at the table, she tried to say that everything that Gino gets mad about has to do with money, because she's like, money is so important to you. It's all about money, money, money. I was like, I kind of feel like money is the only thing you're thinking about, because everything that causes a fight with them on this season has been about money and how she wouldn't be entitled to it. So I was like, I
met on the Sugar Baby website. So the basis of the relationship was money, was him sending her money. She wanted to be a sugar baby. He wanted to be a sugar daddy. Perfect match. I don't think that they meant to fall in love, which if they are, whatever. That's still whatever. But also at the beginning of the episode, or the beginning of their segment, she says she's all worried and she's like, Gino's still not home yet and he hasn't even called. You kicked him out. You told him to get out.
And
no
said they weren't engaged. And said they weren't engaged anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you kicked him out of an apartment he pays for. You took off your engagement ring and said that you guys were no longer engaged. And then you expect him to go back home? I mean, come on
home?
now.
You said he's not welcome there. Exactly.
Yep.
But see, if
I
was Gino, I would have been like, I'll leave whenever you give my $3,000.
Yep.
If you can't give my $3,000, then you leave.
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, it's his apartment. I would have been like, you leave. Why I gotta go?
Yeah.
It's my house. Go back.
Yep.
And I don't know. I just feel like I wanted to believe so bad, because I was against you guys this whole time about Jasmine. And I was like, no, she's just worried about being left high and dry if she comes in. Nah, I don't believe. When she brought up the will, because I was like, what a weird thing to bring up. I was like, you have a whole victory with the prenup. You don't have to sign it. You are now entitled to this man's investments, his retirement, everything. You're entitled.
Yep.
By the law in Michigan, you will be entitled to that if you break up. When you break up.
Yep.
So I was like, this is a huge win. So then she's like, well, what if I want the money faster? You know, I was just like, that's too much. That's too much.
I agree 1,000%. That's exactly where my mind went. It's like, this girl, man, I can't. I like Jasmine, but come on.
That was what changed my outlook. I was like, now you're saying the waiting for the divorce is gonna take too long, and she's just like, well, what if you just died? And I was like, you know what? Now I'm sold that this is strictly what everybody said it was. I was like, because who says that at dinner, right?
And for crying out loud, he's only 53. It's not like he's 103 with a foot in the grave.
Right.
He's 53.
Has not.
Yeah, and then he said that, you know, why would she even say that? They're just a couple of months away from getting married, and if something did happen to her, that she would be with his family. And she was like, what, the family that doesn't even like me? Well, they have a reason not to like you. Because if you remember, like I said earlier, like a couple of weeks ago, in the tell-all last year, what did she say?
Yeah.
She said that if he ever cheated on her or did something wrong, that she was kicking him out of his house. Taking everything that is his.
Yep.
Because she's entitled to everything. How is she entitled to anything? That's why her family don't like her.
I feel like she's entitled to something if they got married.
From the time they're married onward, yes.
Yeah,
I am in total agreement. They are entitled, she's entitled to that. But not what he's been working for since he was 15 years old. Yeah. How is she entitled to that?
She not.
She's entitled to a plane ticket to get her ass back home. That's it.
Well, I don't want to say that, and I was gonna say we know where she is, but let's not go there yet because we're too early in the season.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about David and Sheila. So David got to, where are they at? Is it the Philippines, right?
The Philippines, yeah.
And they landed, and he went to a restaurant that was a little dirty, right? It was a little dirty.
A little bit.
Like, let's talk about the fact that the guy making the food was like handling the bathroom keys, never changed his gloves, and it made me feel a little uneasy. Then he had to go and pee in the alley. You know, this was a very eventful first 2 hours in the Philippines, right? Like this was, it couldn't go any worse, right? And then they get to the hotel and they move the bed and the tile falls off the wall. And there's like dead insects on the floor. Like, it was bad. Like, I was like, geez, man, I feel for him because the first thing I thought of was Dr. April Carter, right? And I was just like, oh my God, April would go back to the airport. She would get back on the plane and she would leave right now. Like, she would just leave. There's not enough Lysol in the world, right? I was just like, April would just be like, nope, not today, Satan. I'm out. But I think that he did make the best of it, you know, and their communication is really difficult. Like, I feel like with her not knowing sign language and them trying to use the app, like, I don't know how they're going to fully get to know each other because there's so much that they need to learn about each other. And not just, you know, with him being deaf and her still being a hearing person, there's like things that they need to know about each other just as people, like aside from that. And I don't know how they're going to be able to do that, but
She learned a lot. I mean, I really like David and I'm rooting for him, but the gross factor hit the highest part of the meter it possibly can. You flew all day, you ate in a nasty restaurant, got food in a nasty restaurant, then you went to the alley, held your wiener, peed, came back, never washed your hands, then went home, ate your freaking rice with your fingers after you picked up a bug and a tile and moved this disgusting bed. Then, while still wearing your airport clothes that you've been flying forever, you just make out. You don't even brush your freaking teeth. No. Also, deaf or not, people need to chew with their freaking mouth closed. Yeah. Why is that such a hard concept? I was just like, I can't even watch this, but I did.
But yeah, we still do. Yeah. He was a good sport. Everyone's saying he's a good sport. Like, I would have left the hotel. I wouldn't have ate the food. Like, when the dude was like doing everything with his gloves, and I was like, the gloves don't do anything if you're gonna touch everything in the restaurant. Yep. Gloves, they don't do anything. And I was just like, okay, he's being open-minded, and you know, I want this to work, you know, but okay. So moving on, did you notice? So what's her name? Sheila was wearing a red dress in her interviews. Mm-hmm. She looked pregnant to you? Yes. Like, I'm sorry, like, okay.
Oh my God, yes.
She looked pregnant.
I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah, I noticed it. Yeah.
So what's up with that, right? Like, so what's up with that? I want to know, and I know we shouldn't be going too far ahead because maybe they're gonna address it this season, but it couldn't possibly be David's, or could it be? Well, like, what's going on?
We know that it's filmed 6 to 9 months ahead of
time.
So the ITMs, the in the moments where they're having them sit and recap the episode, that's months out because everything has already been filmed. So that's months out. So she could be sitting there very pregnant and that be that.
Well, I couldn't stop looking because I was just like, I don't know. She looks pregnant. I know you're never, ever, 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 ever supposed to assume that when a woman is pregnant or not. You don't do it. But I was just like, I'm sorry. She looked pregnant to me.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know if I should be like, yay, David's going to be a dad, or whoa, what the hell is this? Because it might not be his. So I don't know which direction to go. But every time they showed her, I was just like, I don't know what's going on, but I swear I would put $50 on it. I think she's pregnant, and I want to know what's going on because I know he was there. So it's very possible that she got pregnant while he was there, but we're too early to really know how it went down because they're kind of getting along, but there's still that that communication issue, the factor of that. So I was just like, I don't know. I want it to be his, but I also want to make sure that they know each other well enough before that, because what if it doesn't work out and then his baby's all the way in the Philippines and he can't see it regularly, and that's a horrible situation. So I just want to make sure that this is happening in the right way, you know, that they're still together and everything.
Yep. I don't know. I'm concerned about if they do work out, how the visa interview is going to go to get her over here.
That's a really good question. Yeah.
So that stresses me out. So there's a part of me that hopes she's not pregnant, just because he's either gonna have to figure out a way to move there or constantly travel there, because I don't know. I think it's gonna be very difficult.
Yeah, it will be. And if she is pregnant, we saw this with Juan and Jessica. It's not immediate.
Yep.
You're not going to be able to be there.
Yep.
Like for your baby to be born, and then your trips are limited. You know, you can only go over for visas for so long. Then you have to reapply.
They also saw what it's like with Benny and Ari to have a baby in the Philippines. That's not an easy situation.
Wait.
Yeah.
Baby in the Philippines?
Yeah, Benny and Ari.
Wait, Avi?
Yeah.
Avi was born in Binyam's country.
Yeah, Ethiopia, right?
Yeah, Ethiopia.
Oh, yeah,
or what?
Ethiopia.
Yeah,
Either way.
Ethiopia.
You're right. Because I remember Ari she went to the hospital and she was like, "You're not having no baby in here. Like, this is not." I remember that. Yeah, you're right. And it was difficult because then the baby had to apply for citizenship, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that complicates everything because the baby needs to be born on U.S. soil, and then you can have dual citizenship. You apply for your dual citizenship, but the other way around, it doesn't work that way. So this is it gets very complicated. And when I saw that, I wanted to be happy because I was like, oh my God, he's gonna be a dad. That's what he said. He wanted to start his family, but it's just gonna be a super complicated situation for him.
And if she is pregnant and ends up having the baby over there and he's over here, if they were together, it would be so much. I mean, obviously the bonding is there, but it would be so much easier for the kid to learn to communicate growing up with the dad.
Yeah, you're right.
Versus, oh, my dad's coming over every 6 months.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, it's going to be scary.
Yeah.
So I hope she's not, but I think she is.
I know, right? It was like my eyes were drawn to it. Every time they showed her, I was just like, I'm even more convinced now. Every scene, I was like, I'm even more convinced. It has to be that. It has to be that because she's so petite. Yep. So it's like when you see someone who's that petite and any type of, I just was like, it has to be that. It just has to be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she is. I noticed it, but I was like, no, I'm not going to say anything. So.
Well, I was scared because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get attacked because I know you're not supposed to ever ask or assume if someone is pregnant. You wait until they bring it up, like, especially if you don't know the person. Like, you never walk up to someone and say, are you pregnant? Like, you definitely don't do that
to her and say it. I just said it to all of our followers. That's it.
Yeah, so if she's watching, Sheila, sorry, we didn't mean anything by it. We didn't. We're just curious. We saw it. We all saw it. The world saw it. We were just like, are we all seeing the same thing? Is this what we're really looking at? So that's how I felt. So
yeah.
All right. So
I'm still rooting for them, though. I really hope they, I seen that Louis Vuitton bag again tonight, so she was strutting that thing.
I saw it. Yeah, we were talking about that. I did see it. It is a Louis.
I'm jealous.
I don't know.
I can't even afford a Louis Vuitton.
I don't know.
You gotta get a sugar daddy. Call Gino.
Yeah, apparently
Gino, no, thank you.
A millionaire. He's a millionaire. I mean, Louis is not that expensive for Gino. And we don't know if it's like a legit Louis or like a knockoff. We don't know.
We don't know. But we do know that her roof
Either way, even the knockoffs they're expensive, okay?
Well,
so
they're not
I'm poor, y'all. I'm poor.
They're not giving them away. Yeah, they're not giving them away by any means. You got to pay something real or fake. So it is what it is.
And Cara, I can't say what I really wanted to say. I'll have to DM you about what I really wanted to say because I don't need to get in trouble.
Yeah, we don't want to get kicked off. We don't know what we can say fully. So that's why I had to pin that comment earlier. And then one of y'all told Yazan we were talking about him because he joined. I don't know who it was, but y'all are very sneaky. Because what are the odds? Yazan was like, what are y'all? Somebody told him what we said.
That was pretty
very
sneaky.
Yeah.
guys. So he's probably gonna watch this back just to see what we said. But we didn't say anything bad. We didn't say anything bad. We just said we know that something happened. And like someone said, when Brittany said what happened, he was just like,
Yep.
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. All right, so that's it for this episode. Tomorrow night, we are going to go live for 90 Day Fiancé Love in Paradise, the finale.
Yes.
So after the show is over, we're going to go live. We're going to have some special guests, so make sure you guys join. It's going to be a good conversation because TLC doesn't give us a tell-all, so we have questions. And some of the cast members have agreed to answer our questions, so I can't wait to hear all of that. And Scott said that he is going to be going live tomorrow night too, but he's also going to come on with us so we can ask him some questions too. So that's going to be tomorrow. Our live will be tomorrow, so join us for that. Thank you for joining me, to my co-hosts DeeDee and Kara. I couldn't do any of this without you guys, so I appreciate that. Thank you to all the followers who joined in and talked 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days with us, episode 5, and we'll be back next week to talk about episode 6. Thanks, guys, and we'll talk to all of you guys really soon.
See you tomorrow.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye.